Hey everyone, and a big welcome to our YouTube channel. I do hope I find you well. I finally sat for that IELTS exam in the UK, of course, and as I've been sharing in my previous videos, I've done the IELTS test before, but I did it when I was still back home in Zimbabwe, and this time around, for the third time, I've had to do it in the UK. And this video is about sharing with you my final IELTS exam day experience, how everything went, my preparation. Of course, after 2.5 weeks of stressing, preparing, practicing in between my very busy schedule as a working mom, as a full-time working mom, juggling 2 jobs and a family. Yeah, finally I did it, and I'm glad it's over. But there's so many lessons, so many experiences that I do want to share with you, just in case you're preparing or you're thinking you want to prepare for such an exam under the same conditions or slightly different conditions as mine. So that's why I've been sharing my experiences, and I do want to share with you how my day went from preparation, because it was quite eventful. And what made it even more eventful was the fact that everything wasn't just going according to plan. To make matters worse, I was working on the Friday before my actual exam, and it was my 3rd shift in a row, so I must have been so exhausted, and I never had time to really like the day off before the actual exam to prepare. But I'm so glad it's finally over and it was done, and the experience wasn't too bad. The second unexpected as well that happened was, of course, my husband was working as well, and he was supposed to take me to the exam, and then my exam was, check-in was for 8:30, which was registration, as you know, IELTS it is. So we had like an hour drive to do in time for the exam. So you can imagine what time set off, what time wait. It was just chaos. But let's get right into it in this video. So do stay tuned and watch until the end, because I'm going to be giving you a lot of inside info, just in case you are planning on writing the same exam, or probably you're going to be doing it at the same venue as me. I'll be sharing all of that in this video. So let's get right into it. Let me start from the morning of the exam. So what I can tell you is don't prepare anything in the morning. Don't cramming. Or why? Because until you actually sit for the exam, you're always gonna feel, oh, I don't think I'm ready, I don't think I've prepared enough. But you can only do so much, and after so many days and nights of preparing, the exam morning is just for relaxing. So for me, my morning was an early morning, definitely, because we had a 3-hour drive, like I said. So I think we must have woken up at about 3:30, because we were coming along with us, and we had to meet up with my husband about 2 minutes away from where we live, because he was on a night shift that night. Again, all the more reasons why I'm sharing this video with you. So 3:30, I was awake, getting everybody ready, because we were supposed to be there at my husband's workplace for 5 o'clock for us to set off. So everything went on well. I'm someone who likes to be so organized and a bit formal, especially when I'm going for an exam or when I'm going for something as formal as IELTS. And I knew there was IELTS speaking, so wardrobe had to be formal. I am just fussy like that, I know. But for some, I would say just wear something that you're comfortable with, something that can boost your confidence. For me, my confidence comes when I'm feeling I'm all professional, I'm all presentable, I'm all formal, to be more confident in that regard. But what I can tell you is your outfit is actually as important. I drew out any preparations that morning. I wasn't going to listen to any videos, any tips. I felt I had done enough. So it's one of the tips as well. It takes the pressure off you, because I mean, you start watching more videos the morning of the exam, and then you mess up your whole strategy. You're missing out all the things that you've prepared for. So for me, I was like, I'm not going to listen to anything. I'm not going to read anything. I'm just going to go and do this exam. So for those of you that can be wondering, my exam was in Edinburgh. So because I live in England, but I decided I was going to do my exam in Scotland, which is Edinburgh. Why? Because it's a bit closer and it's a bit of familiar territory for me. So I don't know where you're watching me from, but anyway, regardless of where you go in, right, just make sure the morning of the exam you are ready, you're to go, and you're not pressuring yourself, because that can mess up your whole strategy, your whole confidence. Also, part and parcel of what I did was to grab a snack, because it's a 3-hour long exam without a break. Initially, you want to feel hungry while it's in the exam. So for me, I had a good, nice feeling, which made it all the more convenient and doable. So it's one of the things that I do encourage people to do if you're going for this exam. So when we got there, at least we got there about half an hour before the registration time. So we had time to find parking, which is one of the things I do encourage. If you're writing in the UK, just check the center that you're writing at so that you find convenient. Some parking is free, some is paid, but ours was paid, and parking is so expensive in Edinburgh. Oh my God. The 4 hours that we parked, it actually, we had to pay about £26 just for 4 hours. I mean, a lot. But anyway, so we parked right next to the building in which I was writing in. So I went right in. I was shocked to see the number of people that are actually taking their life seriously by writing IELTS. I thought there were going to be a few people, but no, that wasn't the case. There were so many people. I think we were in our 30s, 40s people. Of course, when I compare it with when I wrote in Zimbabwe, that's a small fraction. That's a handful. Because when I did IELTS twice, I did it in Zimbabwe. Guys, I'd seen so many people gather for an exam because it would be like nearly people for just one session. It had to be split into morning session, afternoon session, and then you would not do your speaking at the same venue. I do remember we were using a very big hall, but that's the difference with here. About, I'll say 30, 40 people were there for the IELTS exam. And those people from different nationalities, all the more reasons why it's so different. When I was back home, we started catching up, chit-chatting with people. Everyone is from home. But this time it was so different because I didn't meet any Zimbabwean. Of course, there were a few African girls, but from different other countries. So it made conversation a bit difficult. But everyone was just hi, hello, and a bit friendly. So we went through registration, and there's so many things that have changed with IELTS. The rules, no more water bottles. You don't need to, no more bringing your own pens and pencils. That wasn't allowed. Also, no headphones. And I know when I did IELTS in Zimbabwe, everyone had a pair of headphones. But this time around, the audio was just being played for listening. And everyone was listening at the same time. So it's one of the differences really this time around when I compare it when I did my IELTS last time around. The difference as well is, I think, in terms of instructions, you're no longer allowed to write using pencil. Now everything is written by pen. And it's very, very important that you master the skill of using a pen, especially if you're practicing for your writing, so that you're not messy, because there won't be a chance for you to rub out anything. I know last time when I did my IELTS, we were using pencils, so you can rub as many times as possible. And I'm not the neatest when it comes to using a pen and paper. So I would encourage you using a pen so that you know how you are, so that you know more or how big your handwriting is, just in case for your word count. So, and it didn't really take much here to bring your identification, which is either your passport or your ID or your BRP, whichever you would have used to write, you have to use that as well. Another thing is time. In that exam, 2 people missed the exam or did not attend. I don't know. If you've registered, please go in early, because once the doors are shut, they are shut. You can't get in, and you don't want to lose out. Part and parcel of the instructions as well were to do with cheating. No cheating, otherwise you'll be banned for 5 years without writing IELTS. And if you're African and an immigrant like myself, you would know your life is doomed. You're doomed for life. So those are some of the rules, do's and don'ts. And the structure of it is the same if you've done it before. But of course, I know some of you here haven't done the IELTS exam before. So you start off with your listening, you go on to your reading, and then you go on to your writing. But all of these exams, you just sit for them. There is no long breaks for it. It's just consecutive, one after the other. So all the more reasons why you need to, if you're one who is always asking for a toilet break, you better sort yourself out before you sit for the exam, because they will not wait for you. So listening is a confidence booster. But like I said, where I wrote, there was just a disc being played for everyone to listen out for. We didn't have individual headphones. I don't know where you are writing or where you've written. Share your experiences in the comments. Attention and all the that I've shared in a previous video. If you haven't watched that video, please do go and watch that video. It was the same, but it was doable. Reading, following instructions, and timing yourself, managing your time. This applies whether you're doing your general or your academic. I was writing my academic, but didn't find it any different from those that were writing their IELTS general. Time management is very key, and following the instructions. Where it says a word and a number, then it is what it is. Writing, when it comes to writing, I think it was the most difficult for me, just arranging and planning my ideas. But what I can tell you is, if you've practiced well, if you followed the tips, I've done a video where I shared the resources that I was using. Honestly, I was so focused on just, tips. I used IELTS Advantage on YouTube. I used Fast Track IELTS. I'll put all the links to these channels in the description below. I also used Fast Track IELTS. Well, us here. So those are the resources that were my go-to. Of course, I did my practice test on the British Council website. So all the more reason, you don't need to be scared, really. It sort of calmed my nerves because I was just applying all the tips. But for writing, you really have to manage your time well. Otherwise, you may not be able to finish. I saw people that could not finish. But once they tell you that the exam time is over, you can't be found writing because you could be penalized for that. You could be disqualified for cheating and resulting in a 5-year ban. You don't want that. So just practice with real exams, exams. What I can encourage you to do is, if you have got enough time for practicing, get a book, like level 18 to 20. It's on Amazon. I think it costs about £7 if you buy a second-hand book, and practice using that one. It has got all the recent IELTS tests and the answers. It's a good resource to use. And also, if you live abroad, I don't know where you're watching this video from, if you buy that book off Amazon, you can actually return it or you can resell it to them. So it depends with how you're feeling about your practice. Just share in the comments and I'll respond definitely. Then the other thing, when it came to speaking, we had a break with about 12. Then each and every one is given a slot, their time slot. My speaking was at 2 o'clock, so I had a good, nice 2-hour break where I dashed for lunch with my family and catching up and came back. Speaking for me didn't last that long. I think about 15 minutes. Whether or not that is a good thing, I don't know. Normally they say it does last 14 minutes, but depending again on how much you're speaking, which I encourage a lot of people, you need to speak more than what the examiner is doing. But then again, the examiner can stop you in your tracks if you keep on rambling and rambling, which doesn't take away from how you've been speaking. You know, thank you so much for staying and for subscribing on this channel, because you have been my speaking practice. Honestly, more of my speaking practice has been through these videos that I make. So I've just been polishing up my confidence, polishing up my variety in terms of just speaking impromptu. And well, I'll share the results with you because I don't know yet, but early September the results will be. Partly it's because I didn't write the computer version of IELTS. If you write the computer version, you get your results within 3 days. But if you do the paper-based version, you get your results in 13 days. It will be early September when I do get my results, and definitely I'll drop a video sharing the results and what I think as far as that is concerned. By the time we were finished, I was mentally and emotionally exhausted. I'm someone who overthinks things, and I was like thinking, oh God, did I do enough? Did I get that one right? But one of the things that I do encourage you to do, or a certain way I just encouraging you, is just sitting the exam itself is an achievement. So by you deciding, I want to do my IELTS, I want to dive forward career migration wise, that's a huge. So don't overthink, don't oversweat the small things. So by the time I was done, I was so exhausted I couldn't wait to go home, but I felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders, which is why one of the things that I encourage people to do is just get it done in the shortest period of time, and you will thank me later because it's literally worth it. Also, there are some tips that I want to share with you around that. So what I can tell you is, on the day, just relax and sit. When you go in for your listening and your reading, concentration is very key. If you've missed something, you've missed it. If you can't find the answer for that, it's fine, just move on. And when it comes to your speaking as well, calmness and being able to think quickly and arrange your vocabulary quickly is very key. So what I can tell you is practice. When it comes to your writing, I cannot overemphasize the importance of tips. Just focus everything that you do around tips. You'll find the exam doable. But what I can say is the results will speak, and we'll share the results on this platform as well.